KDTV, and I'm joined with Christina Vellasenor, the City Council member here in Fillmore. How you doing this morning, Christina?
I'm doing great, Adrian. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Oh, of course. Yes. We always have to, reach out, and it's good to have, a City Council member join us. So, however, we're not going to be talking about City Council today, but go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved here.
Sure. Okay. Well, my background before City Council and before being a stay-at-home mom, which I've been for a few years, is actually in public health. I worked for about 11 years with the LA County Department of Public Health, and so I have a lot of background in health advocacy, maternal child health, just different aspects of helping to improve our community's health through education, through awareness. And so I really have a passion for issues around improving health. And so that's where today's topic comes into play.
Awesome. Yeah, I like that. So that's good too. The city gets to know who you are a little bit. They get to know a little bit about your background.
Sure.
So I know today we're going to be talking about the Health and Wellness Resource Fair that's coming up on May 14th.
Yes. We'll be having, and this is a partnership between the City of Fillmore Unified School District, as well as Ventura County, both public health programs and behavioral health programs. And it'll be a fair on the grounds of Fillmore Unified Admin Building, right on Sespe Avenue, corner of Sespe and A Street. And it'll be from 11 to 2. And I'll give you a little bit of background, if you'd like, about how this all came to be, why we're doing this.
Yeah. How and most importantly, I guess, is this Fillmore's first event that they're doing for health and wellness?
Actually, we did one last year. So the background of it is that every May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And
right.
So, again, with my background of working with folks in the community, anything that we can do to just raise awareness, try to erase the stigma around mental health issues, emotional health, just overall well-being. We want people to understand that struggling in some sort of way, or a family member is, that they're not alone, that there's resources out there, and we could talk about it. So last May we had a fair, and it was great. We had it in front of City Hall. We had great participation from organizations. But what we did feel is that we weren't outreaching enough to the community. We were a little bit preaching to the choir. So this year we're having it, and we partnered with, again, Unified to help just make sure all the families within the school district are aware, and the city, sent out to all the residents via the water bill, which is a great way to communicate too. And so we're hoping to have more community participation this year.
Awesome. Yeah, I like that. Okay. All right. Well, go ahead and tell us a little bit about the role for the body, mind, and the wellness overall. It's so important. I'd say it's more important now than it is ever, just because of COVID and isolation and people being distant from other people. And if you have no family or no friends here, that might be a big sting on you.
Right. Yeah, and that's exactly it. I think over the past 2 years, the pandemic has been extremely difficult for a lot of people, and difficult sort of in different ways, right? But as a community, again, myself representing the city and the school district, we really feel that there's resources that are available to help with this, to help people understand that it's good to reach out if we're dealing with any kind of issue. Again, it could be anxiety, or something even a little bit more serious than that, or just feeling again like kind of down and sort of isolated. One of the things they say, especially for students, is what's important to keep students going is a connectedness to school, to community, and family. And over the last 2 years, a lot of our students just didn't have that. And so we're starting to come back, but it's been difficult. So again, this is one of those events that's just going to have a lot of resources there to help, for people to learn, to maybe share it with a family member or friend, or part of someone within their family. And help people, to achieve that overall well-being.
Right. Yeah, and that's so important right now. I know I was raised on the concept, see something, say something. So if someone were to tell you something, we'd act as the mandated reporter.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's good. And other people's experiences too is, particularly when it comes, and particularly, for Latinos, is, a sort of a mental health issue or something that's more not a physical ailment, maybe something else going on, is sort of, how can we say, sort of, you'll be okay, suck it up, that sort of thing. But
right.
we know that it's really important to reach out and get those resources.
Most definitely, yes. And I know that you mentioned that you're partnering up with the city, but also with the school district. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about why on
Yeah,
that.
sure. Yeah, as I mentioned, students the last couple of years, even before the pandemic, there was already sort of increasing instances of students feeling that disconnectedness, and there's statistics out there about can I say more likelihood to be anxious, to have
Mm,
feelings of feeling down and blue and that sort of thing, and the pandemic has just exacerbated that, and it's really across the board. I want to make sure people understand that this is happening everywhere. Fillmore is just a little
right.
microcosm of something that's happening, for students and families throughout. And I think it's important to note that the stressors of the pandemic, happen in different ways. People, especially students, right, and from young students to high schoolers to even
Hmm.
college students, may have lost someone, maybe could have come very close to losing someone. There
Yeah.
could be job loss in the family, or maybe a disruption in the home, in terms of losing their home and maybe had to move somewhere. So there's been all of that. And so, and also anecdotally, something that kind of came up for me of, why I have this fair is, I heard from some moms who were saying, my child's really struggling and I'm having a hard time. I'm a mom who's on top of it. We have a doctor, we have insurance, and I'm having a hard time getting them treatment, or having them get services. I can't imagine what it might be for someone who doesn't have any of those connections, right? Sort of like, where do I go? And so that's where we came in, and the city, the school district, the county came together and said, let's be out there, let's be in the public and share these things. And then it's grown to be more than just talking about mental emotional wellness. We're going to have, I'll tell you more about that, but we're going to have other things there to help there as well.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. So, and that's important too, partner up with the school district and the city, um, as well as to bring in for the workers,
Yeah,
like people that have the city jobs or people who work in the school district, because you always wonder about the kids, but never the teacher,
yeah,
you know?
and like we said, the pandemics affect us in different ways, right? So the stress of the jobs across the board, everyone was really pulled tight through these last few years, and so there's lots of different ways, workshops, again, looking at our health, looking at nutrition, our exercise that we're doing. All of these things can contribute to helping us sort of climb ourselves back up, get to a spot of good health and wellness, achieving that.
Right. Yeah. And I know for our event, how many people do you guys expect to be there?
I am hoping for many. I'm hoping for at least a couple hundred folks, if not more. We're going to have close to 25 booths, and again,
Wow.
when I started putting this together, I thought, okay, it's going to focus on this, few areas about mental health and well-being. But we're going to have Ventura County Public Health is coming out. They're doing a mobile vaccine clinic, so hopefully that brings in people, from across, who maybe haven't been vaccinated or haven't gotten a booster or their second booster. I know my dad just got his second booster, and so so that's going to be there. That's a great resource. We're going to have some booths about a public health is bringing information about nutrition, physical activity. They're even going to have an exercise bike that makes a smoothie on the back. I don't know if you've ever seen that before, but
Oh, wow. No,
it's
I
really
haven't.
cool. I think that's actually going to be Fillmore Unified is actually going to be providing that. But there'll be
Wow.
information about tobacco cessation. We'll have groups there like Boys and Girls Club will be there, Big Brothers Big Sisters, just about community
Okay.
resources for youth. Ventura County, the Agency on Aging will be there again to approach for help with our seniors, because we know that a lot of people in our community are caregivers to older adults, to their
Mm,
parents, and there's also a lot of things that can be done there for help. So we're going to have some workshop on mental health and wellness. We're going to have a yoga and Zumba demonstration. So our local region yoga will be there. A local Zumba group will be there, because again, this is all about the larger picture of health and wellness.
right.
These different things.
Yes. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah. So come on out. I just got a text from hopefully the local library will be there. Again, it's one of those things that when you have a fair that addresses a certain things, other people want to come because they're like, oh, hey, you're having an event. Let's tell the community about what this is, what that is. And so, we're hoping that that'll help also bring out a lot of people. Our fire department will be there talking about fire safety, being safe in the home, because if our homes are healthy, we're more likely to be healthy as well. So, it's
Oh yeah.
really gonna run the gamut. So it'll be great.
Hopefully they can take their demo trailer.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I'm hoping so too. Keep posted. And we'll have Mr. Softy, because we all know that we need a little treat there in the middle of the day as well. So
Oh, there you go.
Mr.
You're gonna
Softy
get everyone there then.
ice cream.
Alrighty. Last but not least, I see your outreach with the water bills. You're putting, advertisement in there, and as well as social media and word of mouth. But how are you conducting it with our, Fillmore is a lot of Spanish speakers. We have a lot of Spanish speakers here. And, what would you like today to convey to our Spanish speakers?
Okay, sure. Well, all the information has been bilingual. Toda la información sobre esta feria de recursos de salud y bienestar es bilingüe, y es parte de su cuenta de agua de la ciudad, y también parte de los paquetes de las escuelas de estudiantes aquí en Fillmore. Este evento será un gran evento de una feria de recursos, y estamos aquí para ayudarle a saber qué son los recursos para aumentar y lograr el bienestar mental, emocional y físico. Y vamos a tener muchos puestos de recursos comunitarios que vengan este sábado, 14 de mayo, de 11 de la mañana a las 2 de la tarde, enfrente del edificio de administración escolar del distrito de Fillmore. Y ya esperamos, con mucho gusto, todos.
Muy bueno. Alrighty. Well, thank you for joining us on, today's episode of Good Morning Fillmore. It was a pleasure having you. And, any other remarks that you would like to leave off on?
I'd just like to end by, again, reinforcing that this is something I hope that our community does, more often. And I love our community Fillmore. I love that we're going to have a 5K run walk from Rotary next week, and that almost every weekend, hopefully, especially through the summertime, that there will be community events to bring people together, because, again, that connectedness to the community, to family, to school, to whatever it is that you're doing that gives you joy, that gives you a sense of purpose and well-being, that makes our community stronger, and the stronger our community is, the stronger, that we sit well here in Fillmore. So that's my purpose.
Yes, especially with a growing community, a rapidly growing community.
Right, we want to make sure that, everyone, newcomers, those who've been in town for generations, come together and realize that, we're looking out for you, so we're doing our best.
Very nice. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for having us, and pleasure for you being on here. And we hope to get another update from you in the future. Maybe after the event, we'll check in and see how things went. Sure. And everyone watching today, feel free to check out our previous episodes at KDTV on YouTube. And again, we'll see you at the event.
Okay.